Okay, as you can see, it's snowing out here. It's very cold. We're far from New York City, but we had to come all the way up here to see a very exclusive fighter. This is real snow. This is not Hollywood snow. You know what we're doing for y'all. This is how far we go. And by the way, this person is undisputed champ. Let's go see who this person is. Surprise! Katie Taylor, go ahead. Thank you. Okay, fight fans, we had to drive about 35 hours to get up here to the boondocks to sit down with the undisputed.
Amtrak drove us here.
You're always spilling the beans, Katie Taylor.
Welcome to your gym. Well, welcome.
You guys are welcome.
Thank you, thank you, appreciate it. I mean, it's the first time we've been in this atmosphere with you. As I was coming up here, I was talking to Barack, and
the whole trip.
Oh, God. No, I was talking about some drama. No, but in actuality, I've never seen you upset. Right. So I was thinking, I need to know what somebody has to say to Katie. What kind of phone call do you have to get in order for you to be pissed off? Yeah. What will make Katie Taylor upset?
There's definitely times. There's definitely times I've been upset. That's for sure. But I am a very, very composed person. I think a very calm and composed person in general. But I don't know.
You don't know. Maybe the check didn't clear in time, and you call Eddie like, Eddie, where's my money?
Well, usually I bring my manager about that, Brian.
Do you want children one day?
Yeah, I think I would like kids one day. I can hardly look after myself at the moment. Never mind a couple of kids, but it's obviously a huge responsibility, isn't it?
Right.
You guys, you've a kid.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's an absolute blessing, but at the same time, it's.
If you do, what if your kid wants to mix it up in a boxing gym? Like, how do you feel about kids fighting at a young age?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously grew up in the gym, and I think there's nothing better than growing up in a boxing gym. The atmosphere of a boxing gym, just the lessons that you actually learn when you step into a gym, and lessons that you can actually pass on to everyday life as well. I would absolutely encourage. Well, I wouldn't push them into it, but if they wanted to pursue it, I'd absolutely be supportive of it. Yeah.
You're gonna push your little daughter, your little 3-year-old. It's International Women's Day. Get your butt in there,
Katie Jr.
Oh my gosh.
So, as far as the fight, right? We know a few years ago the Amanda fight was talked about in the works. Amanda didn't feel that she was getting offered what she deserved. That Amanda Serrano, compared to the one you've seen as of late, like, is she a better fighter, or are you more concerned, meaning has she added to her repertoire in the ring since then?
I wouldn't say I'm concerned, or I think you can absolutely become a better fighter. Obviously, the small improvements that fighters make in a few years. I feel like I'm a better fighter than I was a few years ago as well. I mean, yeah, she could be an improved fighter, but
you're improving as well.
I'm improving as well, I feel, and I do genuinely believe that this is the best fight in boxing at the moment, and the excitement about this fight since it has been announced has been insane as well. So it is going to be a phenomenal fight against two great champions, and it's an amazing opportunity for both of us.
Yeah, this is a mega fight. Okay, so Marquez had Pacquiao. Yeah. Or should I say Pacquiao had Marquez. Yeah. I guess Pacquiao also had Floyd.
Yeah.
Is Amanda Serrano that for you?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, if this fight is close at all on April the 30th, there could be a second or third fight, who knows? It could be a huge trilogy, but obviously I'm only focused on April the 30th right now. I hope to put on a dominant performance, but this could be in the future a mega fight again, and who knows?
Now, I know you don't think like this, but let's just say if you lose, in your mind, you're getting a rematch. But I'm sorry. I know I hate the Xbox is this, but come on.
You just made me mad.
I did it. I told you I was going to do it. Didn't I tell you?
You did say that. Listen, New York City, big Irish community, right? Do you have any long lost second cousins or family members that are hitting your manager up like, we need tickets for this fight?
I think there's been so many phone calls and texts I've gotten to ask them for tickets, and
People you don't even know.
the people that came out of woodwork after I haven't spoken to them in years, and but that's the way it goes, isn't it? I think people think we have loads of tickets just to hand out,
But you do have a few, right? And
Yeah.
Is it hard for you sometimes when you're trying to see where you're going to allocate those tickets? Like, damn, I really want her to come because you got family and friends. Is it difficult sometimes? Like, do they come to you with it eventually?
The next question is, can he have a ticket? You see that, right? You see where it's going. You see that.
No, seriously, I want to know.
you have to speak to my manager about that.
But it's not hard for you. Like, you already know who you need at the fight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the first tickets go to my family, and they're all going to be there on fight night. They're always allocated the best tickets, and they're always my priority with tickets. So they'll absolutely be there, and the rest I can just hand out whoever I think. Yeah.
Are you more nervous for this fight than ever before? Like, are the butterflies kicking in more so than any other fight?
No, I wouldn't say I'm more nervous for this fight. I think I'm super excited about this fight. I don't think I've been as excited about a fight ever before. So these are the kind of fights I've absolutely wanted to be involved in from the get-go. So I'm really am excited about the fight. These are the stuff of dreams, really. These kind of fights, and these are the kind of fights I think I was born for.
The way you just said, I don't think I'm more nervous, led me to believe that you're nervous sometimes. Like, when do you get nervous?
Well, I think,
right before the fight? When?
Yeah, I think probably just on the fight day. Every single fighter it gets nervous without a doubt. Just the butterflies, the wait before a fight. You're waiting in the hotel room. You're just thinking about the fight. But
when does it go away?
I think it goes away the minute you kind of step into the ring.
So the first punch comes your
Yeah,
way.
exactly. You're just home then.
Yeah.
But I think the nerves are also very, very important as well. It makes
you sharp.
It makes you sharp. It keeps you sharp. Keeps your mind on. I think I would be worried if I wasn't nervous.
Yeah.
Am I sharp right now? I was a little nervous.
You look a little nervous.
Am I sharp? Okay.
You know, I see this fight being epic. For some reason, I just feel like we're gonna have an epic night of boxing. But throughout your whole career, what fight would you say you're most proud of? Like, where you watched back with your team and you're like, man, I was looking good that day.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've actually had a fight where I've came out absolutely delighted with the performance. But I think the rematch we're pursuing for me was very, very important.
Very satisfying.
Very satisfying because the first fight was obviously.
And exhausting, literally.
Yeah.
I remember watching it with Barack, and I think somebody said, how about a third one? You said, relax, all right? I just fought this woman twice.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's
tough fights. No, but you know what was good about that? She said, I don't really think I could beat her at this weight. So she gave you that process. I know you was like, oh, thank God, this woman.
I brought that fight up for a reason, because people say, man, those fights took a lot out of Katie. Would you say you learned more than it took out of you? You learned more in those fights that you can take on to the future?
Yeah, I think those kind of fights you do, they're character building fights, aren't you? You have to push through those kind of fights. You're coming back after those fights, you're thinking about things a bit more. You know what you have to improve on, you know what you have to work on. I think those fights are brilliant for any fighter's development, and when you come out with a win as well, it doesn't take anything from you, it just it gives you more drive to actually push on.
See, that's the thing. I want to go a little deeper because a lot of people who've never even fought before say, oh, Katie's on a decline and Amanda's getting better. Why do you think they're saying it? Is it you're fighting better competition than before, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, I definitely feel absolutely great at the moment. I'm in sparring sessions from month to month. I don't feel like I'm slowing down whatsoever. I definitely don't think I've shown my best in the last couple of fights, but I'm looking forward to showing my best on April the 30th, and looking forward to just putting on a great performance.
Speaking of the 30th, people are talking about 3-minute rounds. Amanda wanting 3-minute rounds. Clarissa has been vocal about that, saying that women would score more knockouts if they had that extra minute. Do you agree with that? And how would you feel if this fight was turned into 3-minute round fights?
I'd have no problem with fighting 3-minute rounds, but I don't think it's right to fight 12 3-minute rounds on a 10 2-minute paycheck. I think we have to be. I think we have to be rewarded for it fighting 20 minutes of boxing in comparison to what's 12 3 is 36 minutes of boxing. Had to do the maths there. I have no problem fighting 15 3-minute rounds if we get rewarded for it.
The pay keeps going up.
Absolutely, I think that's obviously very, very important.
But speaking of pay, are we in a good space right now with women's boxing? Because that has been a narrative for years until recent, where women are getting paid what they're supposed to. Do you feel like they are now?
I definitely think that.
Well, we know you are.
Yeah. Well, this fight is obviously a history-making fight with the purses, isn't it? But I think even for some of the other females, they're still probably not getting paid as much as they should. So we still have a long way to go. I think I'm obviously one of the lucky ones where I feel like I am getting rewarded for all my hard work. But there's definitely still a long way to go with that as well.
Right, you're definitely blessed. Okay, you said that this is the first fight you're really excited for. Now, we've seen a couple of male boxers recently be real excited for fights like Teofimo Lopez, Josh Taylor, and then their performances are not as good because they're that excited, they're that angry at that person. Do you think that it'll play on your emotions at all, that you're this excited?
No, I think that that's a great emotion to have. I'm not angry going into the ring, but I am super excited.
Were you ever angry at any of your opponents?
No, I don't think so, no. I don't think I would be, I don't think I'd fight well if I was angry, to be honest. I think it's very, very important for me to actually stay composed, stepping into the ring.
So no opponent has you ever disliked anybody you fought?
I mean, I probably have disliked them a small bit, but I don't let them get under my skin, though. That's the thing.
Have you ever fought with an injury that no one knew about? Tell us. You gotta tell us. Come on, please. Tell us the fight and tell us the injury, please. It's over with. You won.
Yeah, you won.
You won.
I mean, I don't like making excuses.
You won, Katie.
So there's no excuse.
Yeah, I mean, the last two fights I fought with a torn calf.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You see? Wait a second. You men need to take notes because she could have said that. She could have said that.
Well, I did say it right now.
No, but I forced you to. I forced you to. She could have said that. A lot of fighters say, no excuses, but and then they say their excuse.
Yeah.
And you're taking all of this flack. Oh, she doesn't look as good. Meanwhile, you knew you had an injury and you never said nothing.
Yeah.
Where do you get that from?
Not to mention, she bounces a lot, so her calves are being used a lot in the ring. You use your footwork, so that takes a lot out of your fighting style.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely affected my performances, but definitely. But listen, I stepped into the ring knowing that I was in good enough condition to actually win the fight, so I don't say anything about it. I don't feel a need to say anything about it. But
who are you raised by? Wolves? Like you are. This is how boxers are supposed to be.
Wolves and priests, because she's the sweetest person in the world and a killer in the ring. No, listen, you've accomplished a lot, from gold medals to undisputed crowns. There's no question that this is the biggest fight in female history, right? You win this fight big. Let's say that happens. I mean, great performance by Katie Taylor. What's next? What tops that?
Yeah, just keep going. I mean, absolutely, I think I'm blessed enough to know that I have achieved so much in my sport so far, but this night will absolutely be the best night of my career, I believe. Everything else will pale in comparison to what happens on April the 30th. This is the biggest night in female boxing history, and so privileged to be part of such an amazing night. And I just want to keep pushing. I want to continue to have nights like this, and I want to continue to be involved in these mega fights. Yeah.
What about a crossover fight? Maybe an MMA fighter, just somebody that's very, very popular.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't
go into the octagon.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't turn it down straight away. I mean, I haven't no experience whatsoever in UFC or.
But you would train.
You might go into an octagon, maybe.
Maybe.
If the price is right.
Maybe.
$4 million. $4 million. We're gonna see Katie.
Oh
cool.
Man.
That's cool.
All right, so we want to do something to stand in 8. We did this for you years ago, but 8 rapid fire questions. Your first thing that comes in your mind. First one.
I'm nervous here.
You should be.
45-year-old Katie Taylor after boxing. What is she going to be doing?
I'm going to be raising my kids and involved in a great marriage, I'd say. Yeah.
A chocolate bar or a bowl of pasta?
Chocolate bar every single day.
Worst advice you've ever been given?
Worst advice I've ever been given? Gosh,
Sit down with Ak and Barack? Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
Nobody she's been giving good advice.
Gives good, bad advice. Layla Ali versus Ann Wolfe.
Gosh, you're putting me on the spot here.
Of course, that's my job.
I mean, Ann Wolfe has a knockout punch. She is one female fighter who can actually score incredible knockouts. She is a heavy puncher. But Layla Ali is one of my heroes.
So you're going with Layla?
I think so, yeah. But Ann Wolfe.
Wearing her shirt. I dare you to say. I dare you to say Ann Wolfe right now. I dare you.
Favorite movie?
I like the movie Taken. Liam Neeson. Yeah.
Liam Smith. You heard that?
Yeah.
I said it.
I heard that.
Yeah,
Liam Smith. Okay. You versus Christy Martin.
Well, of course I'm going to say me, and she's going to say her.
I asked you.
Yeah.
Well, she said me. Okay. All right. Describe this person with one word. Katie Taylor. Give me something.
Integrity. I like to be a person of integrity.
I like that.
Humble, because look how
I was
long it
thinking
took
humble,
her to
yeah.
say something.
Yeah.
You know. Okay. Is this the last one?
Yeah.
Okay. Best attribute in the ring.
My speed. Are you asking about me?
right.
Yeah.
Speed.
I say speed.
is
Yeah.
phenomenal. I'm so excited about this fight. We can't wait to
Thank
April
you.
30th. Biggest female fight in history, Madison Square Garden.
Can I get
Good
you to
luck.
do one thing before you go?
Say this. New Yorkers out there, pull up to the Garden to watch my fight on the 30th.
New York is what?
Pull up to the Garden.
Pull up to the Garden. Yeah.
To watch my fight on the 30th.
fight on April 30th.
That's a little Brooklyn slang for y'all.
It's
all
gonna
right?
be lit.
It's gonna be lit. Did your girl Katie Taylor?
Listen, good luck, Katie. Thank you so much.
She added a little bit of sauce though. It's your girl, Katie Taylor.
Hope you guys enjoyed that chat with Katie. Rock, what's next?
Jabs.
Oh, Mannix and Mora. Check them out.
Let's throw some jabs.
The fight starts now!
All right, thanks, guys. Sergio, we are just a month and a half away from the biggest fight in women's boxing history. Katie Taylor, a former Olympic gold medalist, undisputed champion at 135. Amanda Serrano, a 7-division world champion. A lot at stake for both these women. But Sergio, who needs this win more?
Amanda Serrano, because she's going to be in her hometown, her home element. She's going to be in the Madison Square Garden. I mean, everything is pointing towards Amanda Serrano needing this. And anytime you're going to be dealing with your hometown and your hometown crowd and your fans, you know, you have that extra need to want to impress. Sometimes that can work against you. Sometimes it can work for you. But yeah, I think Amanda Serrano is going to be hungrier. She needs to look great and spectacular. She has a whole Jake Paul push going for her. She has a new promotional team. She has new everything. So I think she needs to make a statement against the best fighter in the world in Katie Taylor on the biggest stage. And everything's set for her to do this. Now it's time to take care of business.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Katie Taylor because while Taylor is #1 pound for pound in most credible rankings, the last couple of fights, you've heard some whispers about decline. Katie hasn't been as dominant as she's looked at different times early in his career. It began kind of in 2019 with that close win over Delphine Persoon, a close win in a rematch a couple of years later. You've got women like Michaela Mayer pointing out that Katie has not really fully adapted to that pro style that other women, including Amanda Serrano, need. I think if Katie winds up losing a fight like this, there are going to be people, right or wrong, and I think they're wrong, that call Katie Taylor overrated and say she wasn't as good as we made her out to be. So I think Taylor needs this fight a little bit more to quiet some of the critics that have been coming after her over the last couple of years.
you point out the people that call her overrated. I'll straight slap them. I mean, gold medal to undisputed champion to undefeated, ridiculous. No, I just think age is catching up to her. The fact that she's been in physical fights, that's catching up to her. The fact that she's probably looking to hurt opponents and fight a little bit more flat-footed, that's catching up to her. A little bit of everything. And with Amanda Serrano, she's in her prime. I feel she's getting meaner, more confident, and like I said, she has that shine on her and that attention on her now, and she's gonna want to perform at her absolute best. She's the best body puncher in boxing, women's boxing, I'll tell you that. She's the hardest puncher, in my opinion. And now it's time to perform on the biggest platform, on the biggest stage. And if she can do that, here she is, 7 division champion, finally made the big money and did it on the big time.
You know, one thing that her trainer told me recently was that even though they don't talk about it much, Katie has been dealing with some nagging injuries over the last few fights. And he told me that he believes that Katie is going to be at her very, very best in this fight with Serrano. She's passed a lot of those previous injuries, and we are going to see the A-plus version of Katie Taylor. That's why I think it's important, because Sergio, you can say, who's criticizing Katie Taylor? She's a gold medalist, undefeated, all those things, and all those things are true. But the reality is there have been people criticizing Katie Taylor. There have been people who have suggested that she's not worthy of being called #1 pound for pound at this point in her career. I go back to Michaela Mayer, who pointed out that she has worshipped Katie Taylor, but a huge fan of Katie Taylor. But Taylor has not looked like the pro that some other women have looked at. So, whether you think they're right or wrong, there are people that have criticized the fighter that Katie Taylor is right now.
I mean, that's their job. I mean, they have an opinion. That's fine if they want to be critics. And yeah, there has been a slight decrease in footwork in Taylor. I can notice that. I'm not going to criticize this. She's still winning, but she's fighting tougher opponents, and she's doing it being a little bit more flat-footed, like I said, because she wants to get more power behind them punches, and she's exchanging a little bit too much. If she goes back to that amateur style, like you're trying to call it, with speed and footwork, people might not like it, but it'll be a lot easier for her to not be in these physical fights and not question the pound for pound rating.
Well, Sergio, Anthony Joshua, the former unified heavyweight champion, has made it official. Angel Fernandez will be taking over for Rob McCracken as his head trainer in his next fight. It's not clear yet if that next fight will be against Alexander Usyk or in an interim fight, but Fernandez will be leading his training camp moving forward. Sergio Fernandez, not the most well-known of names in the boxing world. Do you agree with this decision by Anthony Joshua?
No, I do not, because he is a former heavyweight champion of the world. He should be with a world-renowned trainer. It's not going to be the guy that got him there from the Olympic gold medal to the heavyweight championship of the world and Robert McCracken. He was visiting with some of the best trainers in the world. What happened to Eddie Reynoso? What happened to Ronnie Shields? What happened to Robert Garcia and everyone else that he was training with, Virgil Hunter? These are world-renowned trainers that can bring something to the table, experience on the championship level. That's all he needs, a strategy and experience. Instead, he's going with the B-side. He's going with someone that has been with him in Angel Fernandez the last 3 years, the last 3 camps. Okay, they have a little bit of chemistry, but this is going to be the biggest stage you could possibly have. Fernandez, this is going to be his first dance in the rodeo. I know, I don't like it. I don't approve of it. He should have had someone that's been there and done that and can bring something to the table. I just don't think Angel Fernandez can bring none of that.
Yeah, I can see why Joshua is doing this, because in a way, choosing Angel Fernandez is like splitting the baby. It's putting a new man in charge of your training camp and of your career moving forward, but also someone that you're familiar with. As you pointed out, Fernandez has been part of Team AJ over the last 3 years. He was one of the trainers that was brought in after the 2019 loss to Andy Ruiz, and he was one of the architects of the game plan that helped beat Ruiz 6 months later. So there's a familiarity, there's some success, but I tend to agree with you. One thing that I know about Fernandez from studying him, his philosophies, some of them anyway, come from the Cuban experience. He's worked with some Cuban trainers in the past. That's not a style I think that's going to work for Anthony Joshua. Cuban boxers and Cuban trainers are oftentimes trying to outbox opponents. When AJ goes into this next fight, be it against Usyk or anybody else, he cannot try to outbox him. He has to use his full 6'6" frame, his power. He has got to take the fight to his next opponent. That's why I thought someone like a Freddie Roach would make sense, like an Eddie Reynoso would make sense. When AJ went to visit with Eddie Reynoso, Canelo was there. And one of the things those two men said to him was like, look, use your size, use your physicality. Don't be dancing around the outside boxing. Take the fight to Alexander Usyk. That's the mindset that I think needs to be instilled into Anthony Joshua going into this fight. So maybe Fernandez has that philosophy. I don't know. There's not a huge body of work to bank on with Angel Fernandez. But if he's going to go out there and continue to try to turn AJ into a boxer, that could be a career-defining mistake.
Look, man, you said it. If you're going to be in camp with Canelo and Eddie Reynoso, that's the top, the creme de la creme. If you're going to be in Houston with Jamal Charlo and Ronnie Shields, that's a creme de la creme. Freddie Roach, on and on. Virgil Hunter, Andre Ward. Pick one. You're dealing with some of the best in the world and top pound-for-pound fighters in the world. That's I'm not saying you're going to learn from these fighters, but you're going to be in the same aura of greatness. And you're not going to have that with Angel Fernandez. I think Angel Fernandez, I think that about that character in Scarface in the helicopter, but that's another story. Just doesn't work, man. Angel Fernandez, not on this one.
Yeah, the other thing with this is that it sounds like AJ is going to continue training in the UK for this fight. That's something else I don't really agree with. You know, one of the things Eddie Hearn told me was that when he went out to San Diego to visit with Eddie Reynoso, he was able to kind of work out outside in almost complete anonymity. And that's what I think AJ needs to get out of the bubble that he exists in over in the UK, where he is a megastar on par with some of the top soccer players that you see in the UK. Go to the US, where nobody really knows you, where they think you're either an NBA player or an NFL linebacker. Like, go there and train in almost seclusion. I think that would be beneficial for AJ as well. Instead, he's going with a new face, but a familiar one, and he's staying in the same location. I don't think it's the best move.
It's going to come down to this and this, man. It doesn't matter where you go.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. Listen, we tried our best to make Katie upset, but she's just too sweet.
No, she looks mad right now in the ring, training. No, but when I talk about her weight, when the cameras wasn't
And
rolling,
when
I
you
think I
said
got her.
that she might lose, I don't think she liked it. All right, but listen, look, we know she's sweet outside the ring, but in the ring, she's a killer. You guys don't want to miss her against Amanda Serrano on the 30th. And we
April.
also, yes, and also on St. Patty's Day, we got a little treat for y'all. We did a little Irish trivia that resulted
And
in
us
pain.
taking shots. We took shots, not these kind of shots, these kind of shots right here.
Painful shots, all right?
God.
So that's it. You're not getting any more. The show is done for the day. Tomorrow, catch Tony and Ade. Peace and love. Stay safe. We out.